Hello everyone, so welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rohit, and today we are going to see the programs on list. We are going to solve programs on list. So in previous video also we solved some list programs, and we are going to continue the list series of a series of list programs. So yeah, so without wasting time, let's start to solve the programs list. So let me take the first program list. Okay, so yeah, so I need to mark down this. Okay, okay, so heading. So let's see the question. What is take input from users to make a list. Again, take one input from the user and search it in the list and delete that element if found. Iterate over a list using for loop. Let me correct. What is this? What is this? Using for loop and one more user and okay. Now let's read it properly. Take inputs from the user to make a list. Again, take one input from the user and search it in the list and delete that element if found. Iterate over a list using for loop. So what it is saying us take inputs from user to make a list. Okay, so we make so we took the input from the user and we made a list. Then again take one input from the user, and again we have to take one input from the user and we need to search that in the list and we need to delete that element if it found. Iterate over a list using for loop. So we have to do this by using for loop. So for that, what I will do, I will create one list, one empty list. In that empty list we will store the input. So I'll take a variable in which I will store the input. For that we need to write input in which why this thing happens. So okay, elements, sorry, enter numbers. Okay, so we need to take the input from user in this way, and then what we can do, we can create a for I in range. Okay, so range we are taking because we don't know what inputs the user is going to give, so we'll be taking range from 0 to n. Okay, so for I in range, and we will create one more variable in which we will store the one more input from the user, as we need to take one more input. Okay, so yeah, and then we have created an empty element, and then we will append that element into the empty list. Okay, list one dot append element. Now we are going to print list one. I need, how many numbers do I want in my list? I want three elements in my list, and what will be they? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the elements are stored in our list. Now we took input from user, how many elements do we want and what elements we want in our list. So we took the input from user, and again we need to take the input from the user and we need to search that input that element and delete that element. Okay, for that what we will do, we will write list one dot remove int input. Okay, so after that, let's take, I want three elements. First is 1, second is 2, third is 3, and we have 1, 2, 3, and I want to remove one from the above list. So see, we have 2 and 3. So let's understand the question once again. Take input from user to make a list. We need to take input from user to make a list. So we took input, how many elements we want in our list. We want 3 elements, and what elements we want in our list, that were 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we created a list. And now again take one input from user and search it in list and delete that element. So here we wrote list one dot remove, and we took the input. We use this in parenthesis input to take the input which element we want to remove from list one. Okay, so we use this line for that thing. So here we took the input one from user and we removed that with the help of remove function, and here's the updated list. I hope you understood this program. So let's move forward. Okay, let's take the another question. Give me a minute. I'll just paste the question, and here we have a question. So let's read the question. You are given a list of integer elements. Make a new list that will store it is a square of elements of the previous list with and without list comprehension. So I hope you understand the meaning of comprehension. Comprehension is nothing but the compressing the size of code. Concise code means making the code minimum. So we need to write a code with list comprehension and without list comprehension. So you are given a list of integer element, make a new list, and that will store a square of elements of the previous list. Okay, understood. So we will create a list. In this list we will store some elements, that is 1 2 3 comma 4. So this is a list, and for very first what we will do, we'll write a code for uh, we'll write a code without list comprehension. Okay, so without list comprehension. Okay, so write a code without list comprehension. So here we created a list in which we stored some values, and here I will write a loop. I'll create a loop for I in list list 2, for I in list 2, mm, I square dot append. Okay, I need to create one more list, that is sqr. I need to store the squared elements in this. That's why sqr list dot append I reply with this thing. Okay, now print sqr list. So here's the squared list. So we have list 2, 1 2 3 4 are the elements, and as per the question we wanted the square of this element, and we took the square of this element and we stored this into squared list. So here is the square of 1 is 1, square of 2 is 4, square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16. So this was without list comprehension. So now we will take a with list comprehension. We will try to solve the code with list comprehension. So here same list 1, we will keep the same list, that is 1 2 3 comma 4. Okay, so now here what we will do, we will create sqr list, and here I star star I is to 2 for I in list 2, and print sqr list list. Okay, so here see, so here we created a list, and in which we given some elements, and then we created an empty list. So in previous without list comprehension we created a for loop, and then we appended the squared elements into this squared list object, and then we printed this thing. But here what we did, we used the for loop within this square list object, and it was empty, and in this we created this, that the power of I means the we need to take the power of I to square of these elements, and we need to store this within this, right? The elements which are present in list 2, we need to take the square of this thing, and this will automatically store within the list square list, right? So here we have the square of 1 is 1, square of 2 is 4, square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16. So this is the difference between list comprehension and list comprehension. So here see, you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 lines of code, and here we have 1 2 3 lines of code. So this is nothing but list comprehension, and this is without list this is with list comprehension, and this is without list comprehension. I hope you understand this. So now let's move towards the next question, which is let me take that question, give me a minute, just give me a minute. Okay, no problem. So we'll write the equation. I'm not able to copy the equation. Okay, so now here we need to write a program to create two lists, one containing all even numbers, and the other containing all odd numbers between 0 to 151. So we have this question with us, that we need to one minute. So write a program to create two lists. We need to create two lists, one containing all even numbers, and the other containing all odd numbers between 0 to 51, 0 to 151. So we have the range between 0 to 151, and we need to create two lists in which we need to store all even numbers between 0 to 51, 0 to 151, and we need to store the odd numbers between 0 to 151 in the other list. Okay, so let's try to open this. So I will create empty list. Okay, I created first empty list, and then I will create second empty list. This is for odd and even, and I will use the for loop for I in range, as we have the range 0 to 151. Okay, and here for I in, and we will give if I is module, if is module by 2 equals to 0. That means equals to I list 1 dot append I, else list 2 dot append I. Array yaar, what is this? Append I. Now, we need to print this list. Okay, so we are going to print, we want even numbers, here, and list 1. In the line we want odd numbers here, or numbers, here I see list 2. So see, the even numbers are stored in this list 1 and odd numbers are stored in list 2. So we have list even numbers 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 till 150, and we have odd numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 within this odd numbers. Okay, so in this way we can store the even and odd numbers within this empty list. So let's evaluate this code once again. What was the question? Write a program to create two lists, one containing all even numbers and other containing all odd numbers between 0 to 151. So the numbers between 0 to 151, we need to find the even numbers and store that into a empty list, and we need to find the odd numbers between 0 to 151 and need to store in the other list. So for that purpose we created two empty lists in which we wanted to store the even numbers and odd numbers. So here we use the for loop for I in range 0 to 151, and if the element within the range 0 to 151 is divisible by 2 and the remainder comes 0, that means it is an even number. Okay, so that number should be appended within this list 1. Else if I is not divisible by 2, if I divisible by 2 and the remainder is not 0, then it should append into list 2. That means the odd number should append into list 2, and here we use the print function. In this print function we given the name even numbers to list 1 and odd number to list 2. So the numbers, even numbers stored in this even number and odd numbers stored in this odd numbers list. Okay, so in this way we solve this program, and let's move towards the other program. I hope you are enjoying this thing. So let's see means how we can count the uh, number of even numbers and odd numbers within this even numbers and odd numbers list. Okay, so let's move to the next question. So next question is nothing but they just wanted us to count the Python program to count even and odd numbers in a list. So let's say we have two lists here, even number and odd number, and we need to count the number of even numbers within this list and odd numbers within this list. Okay, so what we can do, so let's write a program from scratch. So here list, we'll give name odd list, and okay, and even list even, and now I will write here even count. So this thing is important, count. We need to define this thing if you want to count number of anything, of iterate of the elements within the list or anything. So here I will use for loop for I in range is, we know that the range is from 0 to 151. Okay, and we'll use the same condition if I is module 2 equals to 0. Okay, then list even dot append of I. Okay, else list odd dot append of I. Okay, and then but also we want the count. So list even sorry, what I need to do, I need to count even count count plus equals to 1, and here are count plus equals to 1. So got it. So now print function, will you, sorry, we will not use that thing, so we'll use separate print, and this print list even, mm, list even, and we will use the count even, count print or or list and or count. Okay, list dot append I. List object has no attribute. Okay, spelling mistake. List dot but double p. Got it. So yeah, so the first list, we are having even numbers 0 to, and we need to find the count of the numbers of even numbers from the range 0 to 151. So the count is 76, and the other list is list odd, and we need to find the count of odd numbers from 0 to 151. So the count is 75. So I hope you understood this program. So let's stop here, and we have taken how many programs here? So we have taken one, two, we have seen the we have seen the program where we are taking the input from the users, and we are taking the one more input from user, and we are deleting that element which we got from user. And in next program we saw the list comprehension, and also we saw this program without list comprehension and with list comprehension. And the next was we wanted to count, we wanted to know the even and odd numbers between 0 to 151, and we stored those even and odd numbers within this empty list here. And the other program was where we created the two empty lists, and we found the even and odd numbers, and we also here was able to find the count of even numbers and odd numbers, right? So in this way we have solved these programs, and I think this is enough for today, and we'll meet in next video with these with some more programs on list. Okay, so thank you for watching this video.